multiplying fractions, and multiplying fractions are, in some ways, they're the easiest ones to do, but they're a little bit difficult to understand. You know why? Because most of the time, how many of you can multiply? All right, so tell me this tough answer. What's 3 times 11?
33.
But little 3, little 11, huge 33. 6 times 9.
54.
Well, you got little 6, little 9, big 54. Most of the time when you multiply, your answers are much bigger than what your factors, right? The product is bigger than the factors. But when you take a fraction of a fraction, oftentimes your answers are going to be smaller. Here's how we're going to show it. We're going to start with, we're going to take 2/5 of 1/3. And remember, what does of mean? Times. This is the same as 2/5 times 1/3. So remember, we started off by doing 2/5 of 10 maybe, and 2/3 of 6 and all that kind of thing. So this time we're starting with 1/3. So I have 1/3 here. And what's this line here mean? Divided into 5 equal parts. So I'm going to take the 5th overlay, put it on top. So now I've cut 1/3 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts, right? And how many of those parts do I want? 2 of those parts, but how many do I have? No, I've got 5, but I only want 2 of them, and that's why we're allowed to sneak in there, grab this piece. Now I have 4, now I have 3, now I have 2. And there's the answer. 2 what? 2/15. 2/15. Now, do you see 2 rectangles there? There's a big rectangle and there's a pink rectangle. The big rectangle is 3 times 5. Look, 3 times 5. The little pink rectangle is 1 times 2. See? 1 times 2. And the answer is 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 3 is?
15.
15. So the answer is 2/15. Okay? Let's try another one. We're going to try 2/3 of 5/6. Go ahead. Build 5/6. If you're watching on the video, you can pause it. Take 2/3 of 5/6. And notice how your answer is probably going to be smaller than what you started off with, not larger. So I'm going to start with 5/6, but I want 2/3 of that. So I have to take the 5/6 and divide it into 3 equal parts. Okay, I've divided it into 3 equal parts. I have 3 parts now, but how many parts do I want? 2 parts. So I'm going to sneak up here and pull up the numerator until I have just that. Okay? Now notice that I have 6 times 3, right? That's the denominator, both denominators. And in here I have 5 times 2, which is, and the answer is 10/18. Now let me show you one more thing. I'm going to use my green, but you can use whatever you want. Remember, factors and product. When you multiply, this is the product, and these are the factors. Watch. If you put something on top, like we do this in the teacher's manual, do you see 2/3? That is 3 total parts, and 2 of them are colored. And do you see 5/6? Because this is 2/3 times 5/6. And also notice, this is where the formula comes from. You multiply the numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and that's your answer. These are your factors. This is the product. And notice how the product is less. We started off with that big guy, and the answer is this. So do you see why? Because you're taking a fraction of a fraction.